but it happens. If it can happen to Mariah Carey, it can happen to the biggest radio stations in the world periodically. You know, it can happen to the Doug Stewart Show. As simple as that. It's as simple as that. And once again, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I really think somebody is really effing with me. I do. You're going to try to stop this train. What we're doing around here is big, big as Orca. And I think that the powers that be, I don't know who they are. Just like the great Lawrence Taylor said, I think I was set up by the man. But we're going to continue to persevere. Bottom line, I don't think it was Mariah's fault. Right. I don't think it was Mariah's fault. From Sandman, nobody notices the sound engineer at a concert or church until ish goes wrong. Exactly. And that's well put. You know, you don't understand what's going on behind the scenes on productions, whether it's TV, radio, whatever, man. When ESPN puts on one of these games, you can tell how big of a monster ESPN is, man, by the fact that they're basically behind all these bowl games. I can't even start to explain to you what goes on behind the scenes in these engineering trucks that they have, where they have these multi-million-dollar production systems set up to make one broadcast happen. Like, I can't even explain to you. And if one button is pushed, if somebody reaches over to grab their coffee and they hit the wrong button, then everything goes haywire. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't think it was Mariah Carey, and they are absolutely killing her. I knew it was going to happen. Within 5 minutes, Twitter was absolutely destroying Mariah Carey. I'm not a Mariah Carey fan, so I know it sounds like I'm bumping for her, but just know this. I totally understand. I totally get it. Yes, I do. All too personal to me. So back up off Mariah a little bit. Back up off of Nick Cannon's old lady, or ex-old lady. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. Make sure we got everything set. When we get back, we're going to talk more about the NFL this past weekend. We'll run through a lot of games. We got to get into this college football talk. Ohio State fans, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Yeah. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show, back in 3 minutes. Stewart Show, Man Monday. Man Talk Monday, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I think the last thing that I talked about before we had the issues with the audio, man, and we had to reboot the show. That's a good thing about doing a show online, though, is we can basically just start over from the beginning, what have you, and do it again. So that's kind of a blessing or whatever, man. But I think we got everything back in order on the Doug Stewart Show. So, yeah, for the record, if you're new to the show, if there's ever an issue with audio and you can't hear me and we figure out that we're having a problem that we can't fix, because once again, there's like 50 gazillion dials in front of me, in front of Waterhead that we check whenever there's an audio issue, and if we can't find it, then we just start the show over. So if there's ever an issue where the show goes away, we stop the show and start it over, just know that we will do that. We will start it over, okay? All right, so make sure you remember that. We got a lot of new listeners, so it happens. So the last thing that I was talking about as far as the NFL, man, is the Washington Redskins done. They blow it. They lose like 3 of the last 4 games, man, and 6 of their last 8, I think it was, or whatever, and they blow their shot to make it to the playoffs. Bottom line on that, man, Kirk Cousins is up for a new deal because you know he was under the franchise tag. If I'm the Redskins, if I'm Daniel Snyder, I'm not giving him nothing. I don't trust him. I'm taking that money and putting it in other places of value. Maybe I make my defense better or whatever. Maybe I get some better wide receivers or whatever, an all-pro type running back. I don't know, whatever's out there. But I'm not messing with Kirk Cousins on no long-term deal. What they'll probably do is just slap him with the franchise tag again. So that's the deal with the Washington Redskins, the New York Giants in the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks, man, took on the San Francisco 49ers. Russell Wilson threw for 258 yards and a touchdown before being replaced in the fourth quarter. And the Seahawks rallied from an early 11-point deficit to beat the 49ers 25-23. Seattle had control of the race for the number 2 seed before losing at home last week to Arizona, but heads into the playoffs with confidence of a team that has been to 2 of the past 3 Super Bowls. That's right, I mentioned that earlier. So the Seahawks are in the playoffs. Colin Kaepernick was having a pretty decent day until the very end. He went 17 for 22, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. You saw the touchdown pass that he threw. It was a dart in the middle of the end zone. I think Kaepernick's going to get an opportunity to be a quarterback in the NFL next year. I'm not sure if it's with the San Francisco 49ers, but I think he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the world today. Simple as that. Despite all of the controversy, the anthem protests, and what have you, I think Colin Kaepernick can play this game, man. He has to get with the right coach, a coach that believes in him and his skill set, and I think he'll be fine. Jameis Winston threw for 202 yards and a touchdown Sunday, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers broke up Cam Newton's 2-point conversion throw in the closing seconds to hold off the Carolina Panthers 17-16. I don't know what the hell happened to Cam Newton the last 3 weeks, man. He acted like he didn't want to play. It's as simple as that. And we talked about this last week, man, when they played the Falcons. Cam really, didn't want to be out on that football field the last couple of weeks. And that's disturbing. Jameis Winston threw a 10-yard pass to Mike Evans to snap a fourth-quarter tie and became the first player in NFL history to start his career with consecutive 4,000-yard seasons. Ball award to that young man. Yeah. Things are looking very bright for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their quarterback going forward, man. Jameis Winston, kid got he's a leader. He's a leader. He's a winner. You know he's a winner as well, man. And he got substance behind it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they just need to add a couple pieces, man. They're going to be in the thick of things going forward. Winston's franchise record-setting 28 touchdown pass put the Bucs ahead 17-10 with 3:10 remaining. Winston was 20 of 35 with 1 interception and a fumble. He broke Josh Freeman's club record for passing yards and touchdowns in a season, finishing with 4,090 yards and 28 TDs. The thing about Jameis Winston, man, is he wants to be great. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You can tell that he wants to be great, and he's going to put it into work, and I think he's going to make it happen. I mean, the NFC South, man, with Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, and Matt Ryan for a couple more years. Matt's been in the league, I think, over 10 years. But the NFC South, man, is going to be fun to watch the next couple of years while these young guys progress, man, and get better. The Panthers season is over after they went 17-1 a year ago before losing in the Super Bowl. 6 of their 10 losses were by 3 or fewer points. So you can take some solace in that if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, that it was a tough year for the Panthers, but a lot of the games that they lost, they were close. You know, they could have gone either way. So they're not far away. They still got a lot of great pieces on defense. Luke Kuechly, obviously Cam Newton, the MVP from last year. They just got to refocus, and they got to figure out, you know, what went on with Cam this year. And obviously they need to add some offensive linemen. They need to add more creativity in the play calling. But I think the Panthers will be all right going forward. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. One last game before I jump into the chat room on Spreaker.com. The New England Patriots, yes, I like to call them the cheating-ass New England Patriots. They beat the Miami Dolphins in a interdivision battle. Tom Brady went 25 for 33 with no turnovers. Probably was cheating. But the Dolphins did make it to the playoffs, man. They're going to have a rematch against the AFC North champion Steelers, who lost 30-15 at Miami in Week 6. So the Patriots get it done, and once again, they have home field advantage in the AFC for the playoffs this year. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougshow.com. Let me read a couple of your messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. From Miss Mocha Bella, X-Squad, she says, we need players for DraftKings this weekend. Just kidding. That's funny. Mocha was kind of like the DraftKings commissioner, and we will talk about DraftKings and what happened with FireFan last night later on in today's show. But Mocha was kind of like the overseer and making sure that we had enough people to have the league. Thank you, Mocha, very much for your hard work and support. From One Chance in the chat room on Spreaker.com, did we already discuss Matt Ryan's MVP candidacy? We did. Maybe you jumped into the show late. We did talk about it early in today's show. I think Matt Ryan, at the time, I thought Matt Ryan was going to win it based on kind of like the vibe of the media and the way they're talking. But after 3 minutes and a break, I think that they're going to give that thing to Tom Brady. Yeah, I think they're going to give it to Tom Brady, man. I think they're going to give it to Tom Brady. The love affair and the infatuation with Tom Brady is unbelievable. I would give it, and I've said this many times, I would give it to Dak Prescott first. Secondly, I would give it to Dak